And that's it. That's our Faz Politics, very, very improvised intro. Good morning, good evening, and whatever time of day it is for you, Mr. Cryptoview and Mr. Zorro. Oh, you're muted because I muted you from the
Oh,
title here.
Oh
We got to
no.
do a real title.
well, I was saying that I like the intro.
I was doing the Trump dance. He's viral now.
Did, do you like the flashing this back and forth?
I
I
like
have
the
another
flash.
one here. Didn't want to use the Faz Radio, but we are, for the first time, using the Faz Radio YouTube. No, not YouTube. Twitter channel. This is the Faz Politics YouTube. Our Faz Politics Twitter channel got canceled by Twitter because apparently it was too similar to another account that I had, which is their reasoning, which isn't wrong. Maybe, I don't know. Apparently, they don't like to have similar accounts, but I mean, maybe I'd have to have a podcast with a totally different name.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you will be competing between your accounts probably, and you know multi
so
accounts, fast multi accounts.
I should probably announce this on the Faz Radio, whatever it is, Faz Radio Discord. So you guys talk amongst yourself for a minute while I go prepare that. The thing I wanted to talk about today is Vice President Trump.
Oh my God.
Talk about Vice President Trump because we have a new president.
Take out your trash cans.
Oh, that was Alexa there telling me to take out my trash.
That
I mean, wire.
was a good timing. That was a good timing.
I know. But I want to talk. Yeah, and somebody's listening. But I want to talk about Vice President Trump and the future President Musk. We know he's president because Donald Trump had to come out and tell people that he's not. I want to make that clear.
Yeah, he said that today in an event that he have Trump, and he was very clear actually. And he said it that no, Elon Musk is not taking the presidency. He's no. I think
He's
Trump. No, he's not. So Trump always have to leave behind his the way he is, and he's in charge. And he's gonna tell people that he's in charge. So.
Well, I think the media was trying to like make them fight somehow, or try to make an argument between them, like try to hit Trump's ego by saying that. But these guys, they know their game, so I don't think they're gonna fall for it. But I think that was the whole strategy behind Musk president thing. That's my take on it. I, like especially that lady, the way she came out, like she looked like a witch. She was like, President Trump. He was hilarious. But the thing is, the sad part is there is people who actually believe this, who actually go with it and think actually Musk is the one who's pulling the strings behind Trump. And
Well, he's demonstrating that he's doing that. For example, this budget compromise, which Mr. Titan was telling me about yesterday or the day before, like he said, Musk orchestrated all this. And I was like, no, he hasn't. He's having to deal with the regular political things. But apparently, Mr. Titan's right. Elon Musk has been able to get things moving in Congress. Well, who the hell is this guy? He's not a government employee. He's not. He wasn't elected. Nothing. But apparently now he has the ability to pull his strings because he's the number one, Trump buddy. He's the new first gentleman, from what I understand, and he's going to make things happen. Well, shouldn't we be hearing about Trump making things happen?
I totally agree with you in that one, Fast. I think Donald Trump, the new president, should be the one that say what's gonna happen, and how. At least I'm expecting a lot from Trump. At least the first 60 or 90 days, once he's ready on the on in the chair. So, and I think it's a good time to wait and see what he's going to do or not. And he's the one that he should be leading uh, these um, new 4 years of
Well,
of the presidency.
one thing is for sure, you know, he can be like the only thing Elon Musk cannot be is a president or vice president, I think, but he can get like a government position. And interesting right now, Senator Rand Paul, he suggested for Elon to be a Speaker of the House. He can take that position. He doesn't need to be born in the U.S. to be a Speaker of the House, you know. So I don't know. He can take a government role if he wants.
So that's way different than things have been done before. Because the Speaker of the House, even though technically they can be anyone, me or you could be Speaker of the House if the House chooses us to be.
Yeah, right. Not other
people. People would feel betrayed. The entire country would feel betrayed if it wasn't somebody who represented a specific district or whatever, or was it, senator? I mean, if he were to get that job, there would be so many cries of foul, it would be unfunny. And if that happened during the Biden administration, short as it's going to be, people would cry foul on the other side. And that's what gets me is whoever does it, it's okay. But the other side really hates that whenever you do anything. So I could theoretically see him being elected as a Speaker of the House, but how much?
I don't think he will take any job. I think he will stick with Dutch, the government efficiency, the department, the Department of Government Efficiency, whatever, Dutch. I think he's just gonna stick with that, and I think he's gonna be happy with that. He got too much on his hands to be a Speaker of that.
Well, remember something. Remember something. Elon Musk is a well-known person about when he's about financial cutting big expenses and all that, because he demonstrated that he did it with Twitter. So, and I don't know if you guys all remember when he basically fired all the people from there because he thought that the the previous employees from Twitter they were not doing nothing. It was just people collecting money, paychecks from there, from that company, and then he went and fired everybody. But it seems to be he's very in that way he's very straightforward with that, and a very restricted person that he's gonna go ahead and cut off a lot of stuff. Probably he can lead the same method now when he's running this department, the Dutch department in the Congress. Never know.
So, okay, how is Twitter doing after Elon's cuts? Okay, so that's the question. My understanding is that they have seen a huge decline in revenue, and they're roughly breaking even right now. So the question is, was it improved? Is that what he wanted? He wanted the value of the company to go down significantly.
Well, I mean, that's what we can say now, but we don't know how much what profitable was Twitter before Elon Musk as well. But if I remember, pretty well, Twitter was already going down before Elon Musk.
So Twitter's a publicly traded company. These numbers are easy to verify. I don't know if I'll have time to do it during our conversation. What I understand is, in fact, you can. What I did right now is I just Googled it and had Gemini mention that it's had a notable decline in revenue. And you have a decline in revenue, you cut 80% of the workforce, your company, you have less of a company. And that's the question is, and they have it says right here, significant decrease in advertising revenue as well. So what was the goal? And how's he feeling about it now? Well, he's going to feel good about it now no matter what, because the CEO, you're just going to have to. But if we don't know what's eventually going to happen with Twitter, things could bounce back and they could be better than ever. You want that same person who's done this, he's kind of untried then, cutting all this stuff from the United States government. These are benefits that people are going to be having cut, like Social Security, and you know, you're going to see a lot of projects. We like to think that there's pork barrel projects out there, like bridges to nowhere and stuff, but those things actually employ people. So you don't want to employ people. Okay, you want companies to employ people. Where's the plan? I want to hear the plan behind doing this, other than government's too big.
I don't know if employing people will be because people now have a differently mentality right now, and I think after COVID everything changed, and uh, people don't have the same feelings as before, that going a 9 to 5 job and spending a lot of time doing a job. And but at the same time, I don't know if you guys heard before when I think Trump say that there will be cutting taxes, or they're going to eliminate taxes from the overtime, from workers. Uh, and he said, at the same time, he said, well, if we cut the taxes, if we eliminate the taxes from the overtime hours from employees, we're going to incentivize more people to work. But I don't know how much people is willing to continue working huge amounts of hours as well for this system. Um, and I don't think it's gonna happen just that quickly, but it's always in my end. It's always and well, we have to wait until actual Trump is sitting in there. We have to wait actual when Elon Musk is sitting in there doing things as well. Yes, probably he's the way he runs things is, oh, we're gonna go ahead and start cutting stuff. You know, probably cutting stuff is not gonna be doing well the first month after
Yep.
the decision, but
And
probably it's gonna balance.
Elon
It's
admitted
gonna
that.
balance something.
Yeah, Elon even admitted. He says, "Hey, there's going to be some hard times ahead while we cut this stuff, and you know the notion is that eventually it's going to improve. The hard times are going to be all those people that were dependent on government jobs now having to find jobs elsewhere. And if government was as inefficient as they say it is, these people are going to have a hard time finding jobs, because we all know what a government job is. There's a lot of phoning it in, seriously, phoning it in for the job. A lot of antiquated systems that require a lot of people to keep track of.
Yeah, and as we saw before, I think in Twitter, I mean there's some couple of tweeters about that there's there's masses of job in the government right now. That's basically there's actually just people collecting checks, and we don't know what these public servants they do for us, for the country, for this nation. And they know that, and I think we know that already, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be checking on that as well. And if my understanding well is that these people always work remotely. They don't even have to show up to our office as well. And
Well,
and and Elon Musk is one of those guys that he's very old fashioned way. He's pushing people to go back to work, to be present in their jobs, and things
I
like
wanna
this.
I wanna ask Fast something. He says that Twitter is a public company, that he can see the public stuff online. According to what I've been researching, Twitter stopped trading on October 27, 2022. Is
Really?
not being public, and not only that, before it stopped trading, it's stopped momentarily. It was being up since Elon acquired the stock. So the stock was going up, and then they stopped trading, and it has been not trading publicly since then. So
Okay.
whatever you read in the company is growing or not, we don't know, because we haven't traded Twitter for
Good
2
point.
years
I
already.
stand corrected. I know that I had bought Twitter stock a long time ago, and I eventually sold it once it started going up. But no, I forgot all about that. I do seem to remember now that they went private. This was at the time that he bought it.
Yeah.
So
So Zorro was
okay,
right. So you don't know what's going on. Listen, the guy cut the personnel. He make the Twitter app better. He got revenues from people subscribing to Twitter. He got a lot of ads going on. So I don't think the company is doing better when he improved all these things. Like I haven't, like when I got Twitter in 2010, I never pay a dime for subscription. Since Elon Musk put that on, I'm paying the premium. Why? Because I think the information that I find there is more accurate and on time than any other media. So this is the only media that is like decentralized in a way. That what about the community notes where they like debunking all the mess that people are putting out there? Like people put lies and then community note go and tell them this is not right, this is the article, this is the date, this is this is something amazing that this guy is doing. And if he can implement payment into the Twitter app, it's gonna be like WeChat in China, but regulated by the U.S. So what he's trying to do with Twitter, I think, is amazing, and I think it's
okay,
gonna go up in revenue. Like
okay.
normal.
So yeah, totally good point. Not a public company, but in one sense, that's worse because now we don't know what he's done. We don't know the results of what he's done. Has Twitter, done better or not? And you just talked about hopes that you had that they could do more with Twitter due to some things that he wants to do. So to me, that's still untested. It would be tested if you could say he has built this. It'd be better to say he has built SpaceX or he has built Tesla or something like that.
Yeah.
But
But you don't have
that's
to.
what I want to get at.
But listen, fast. You don't have to. You don't have to do too much research. You just have to use the app and see how better it got. He got more people with the blue check mark that you've seen before. Like you got
Well,
way more
everybody has a blue check
users.
mark. It's
Huh?
Fast Radio has a blue check mark. It's like what, four
Yeah, but
dollars a month, eight
$7
dollars a
a
month.
month. Yeah, but anyway, it wasn't before. That revenue wasn't
Well, the
before. Like
check
it
mark
was
has
not
changed
a.
its meaning. Check mark has changed its meaning now. So before it meant that you were verified, and you would actually pay them to verify you. Now it just means you paid for a blue check mark. So
I
when you
know.
say when you say more people got the check mark, he cheapened the check mark, made it not verified, and yeah, everybody's got it. Yay! That's like giving everybody a medal at the end of a race, isn't it?
I understand, but you're saying there is no way to come to prove the revenue that he's getting. Now that everybody, even fake accounts or whatever, getting blue check marks, he getting more money than before.
Okay,
So Twitter,
I'll give
he
that.
shrink the personal, and he getting more people subscribe with a pay subscribe. So he's getting more revenue now. That was my point. I'm not
Well,
saying if the check mark is good or bad. I'm just saying that he got more
yeah.
revenue.
So well, we don't know if he's gotten more revenue or not. I certainly am going to give you the point that he has gotten a lot. He's probably gotten more people to pay because everybody wants the blue check mark. And to be fair, they have a gold check mark now, which I believe is verified now, which costs
Yeah,
a
but
whole
you pay
lot
a
more.
lot of money, like it's $130,000 or something like that to get the yellow check mark.
That's
So
for
he's
institutions or not,
Yeah, for institution.
right?
Every
so
check
he's
mark have
bringing in
a
money.
meaning.
So he's bringing in money where he might not have done it before. So yes, that's notable. But we can't say that we know how much he's gotten, or sorry,
Right.
how much money if the company's bigger or smaller.
Right.
Things that I had read had said that they had lost a lot of advertisers and that they were a lot smaller. But if that information is not public, then I kind of wonder where that information came from.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that because the problem is, like you say, it's not verifiable, but the app is working. It's like number one source of information. Even the mainstream media use Twitter in
Well,
their TV to
a lot of
check.
those are dropping Twitter now. They're going to our Blue Sky and other Twitter competitors. I see people on Twitter every day saying, "Okay, you know what? I'm done with Twitter. It's too full of hate. It's become a soap. It's become a mouthpiece for Elon Musk." Which, honestly, in one sense, that's real genius. That the fact that he now has bought himself a platform to really elevate anything he says. That in that sense, that's genius. But in another sense, it's a little scary.
It's a little scary because, and I agree with you in that fast because basically this man can control a whole world with his platform, and a lot of he got a lot of supporters. I think everybody knows if you go to Elon Musk's account on Twitter, this guy have what a little bit over 200 million people's followers. Basically, whatever this guy say, imagine the effect that that is going to have in the whole world, and people are trusting this guy because this guy has been creating, innovating a lot of stuff in the world right now. He's launching the rockets, he's doing this, he's creating new cars, electric cars, self-driving cars. He creates Optimus, and people will follow those ideas, people will protect those ideas because he's giving something to people. He's creating basically the future, and basically the future of the United States as well. And that's something that we like here as Americans. We love to be innovative. We love to be ahead of time all the time. We love that. This nation love that. And as long we have guys like Elon Musk creating stuff and doing all this stuff, of course he's gonna have a lot of followers. There's a lot of people who's gonna support this guy, but
But
we
at
have to
the
be
same time,
I think we have to be very careful. People have to be very careful as well, and people have to think on that yeah, you are listening to this guy 24/7, and you go, and a regular person go to Twitter account all the time, even before they go to sleep and they just check in Twitter's account, but we always have to have some doubts and what these
Zorro,
people are always
Zorro,
saying.
we got before we got these millionaires pulling up the strings and making up all the calls, and they were hiding in the shadows. Like now we have this millionaire who's making some shots, but he's being public about it, so we can criticize him and talk about it. But
I
before,
think
like,
I, I think it's great. I think it's great that these people now can be here talking, one on one to regular people like us, and we can tweet and say something. Probably he will see it or not, but he's there now. Now we have the option to talk to these people, as well with the public servants of the United States and all the people, the president tweeting, and people can, say something. You might get a response.
let,
Yes,
let me let me tell you
it's
something.
more.
Let me tell you.
Is a nation more
Wait.
connected to our
Let's talk about
public
let's talk about the
servants?
bill. Let's talk about the bill that just passed the Senate. Without Twitter, without Elon Musk interfering, without freaking Vivek reading the thing, and without everybody joining together reading those 1,500 pages where they were getting money for everything that we don't need, like that bill would have passed. Not, you don't see the good that this guy is doing just with that just happened not too long ago. Not even the government could shut down. They were trying to shut down, and they say, well, let's reduce this bill from 1,500 pages to 166 pages.
Let's be clear about what actually happened. They
Okay.
decided the government decided to this has happened a number of times. The
Yes.
government has run into a funding crunch, and they've decided, usually at the end of the year, they put out the budget for the next year, and they put in all their pork projects and stuff like that, and then they got to get the other side to agree. Um, it frequently doesn't work. The government has a shutdown dilemma coming up, and then they split up the bill into a number of smaller bills, and they go, you know what, we're just going to get the government running for a short time. That is actually what happened. And when I was talking with Titan the other day about it, I said, this is not something that Elon Musk was really that instrumental in. It's something that's happened a lot. However, what I will admit is that people think that Elon Musk did all this.
Yeah,
He's very
he just
they
put it out
they
there.
thought they thought so much that he did that Trump has to come out today saying, look, Elon Musk is not going to be president. Okay. Now, so there's a big perception there. He literally has no ability as an unelected person to push through anything.
No.
He might, however, be a good attack dog for Trump to scare elected people, and that if anything, he's doing that. But I want to make it clear that he didn't do that. Our elected representatives did.
Yeah, well, what I meant, what I meant wasn't that he did it. What I meant is the platform, Twitter, that you're saying people are running all over and leaving the platform, help to spread the what was going on. Listen, in the past years, nobody knew about these bills. Nobody paid attention to it, and the government keep passing and passing stuff and doing with the money from the taxpayers whatever they want. Now because of this platform and whatever he's doing, that you say Twitter is probably not growing, but look how decentralized and how people get together and read something that they never read before, that they never pay attention before. Like now we the people kind of have something or somebody saying, pointing the finger like, hey,
Yeah.
look here, look over there, not before. We wasn't
Well,
paying attention.
So things
well, do you
things are
think
going to be
it's
happening
do you
differently. Yeah.
do you think it's decentralized?
Well, I meant decentralized about not Twitter. I meant decentralized the way that people got
No,
together
I know.
and
I
read the
understand. Yeah,
and
I
read the
understand.
bill.
I understand you're saying, but I mean, decentralized in some ways probably. What you're trying to say is that yes, now because of technology we have, we are able to see these regulations and all the laws that probably people 20 years ago, 10 years ago, we didn't know these all rulings exist in order to have a good nation and things that can benefit the people,
Listen,
which is good, which is I think is good.
before we only had the TV, and what the TV are saying even now that we have the technology. Elizabeth Warren is going on TV saying, "Oh, President Trump and President Musk just took money from cancer kids." That's what they're saying, but they're not talking about the other 149 pages that they're not talking about kids having cancer, which
Well,
they already debunked. It wasn't true. It wasn't
okay.
part of the bill.
Our bipolar politics does that no matter what. If whenever Biden pushes a bill, the conservatives will say it's pork, or they're no longer spending money on something that we find important, like defense or individuals in some way. But the other side, the Democrats, when they see something being repurposed, they're going to mention something that's obviously something we should keep, like treating kids for cancer and stuff like that. Elon is going in. He's been saying he's going to go in with a broad brush and paint everything and knock down the government everywhere. That's okay. The problem I have is bring it, have something to replace it with. I will think that Elon did a good job if he is able to cut a government program and then able to immediately switch people over to, here's where you can get this same stuff in the private sector for same price or similar price. That's what I will think of as a success. But the way they're talking about it is, we're just going to go slash and burn, which means that now businesses have to catch up. There needs to be rules and regulations where businesses can do these things and actually take over. Let's just say they cut NASA completely. Well, the good news is SpaceX exists. Well, that's kind of a conflict of interest. But the good news is Boeing exists. And so there's somebody that could actually take it. So if they cut something that has my thought is they should cut a program and say, okay, these 3 businesses are providing this stuff right now. Go to them. And then they should work with those businesses to say, hey, you guys are going to get a whole lot of influx. We're going to help you scale up to be able to handle this. But in reality, the way that they're talking about it, no, everything and everybody's, they're going to fall flat on their face. We're going to have about 2 or 3 years of immense pain. And then election time is going to come. And then the Republicans aren't going to be invited back in the White House. Well, mostly because Trump can't run again legally. But the other one is because things will be so messed up that the Democrats are going to have to fix it. And hopefully, and when the Democrats have to fix something, Republicans never like the way that they fix it.
Same way around.
or probably they never will fix it.
Well,
They keep
there's.
some stuff. They keep some stuff and they change some stuff. So
I'm curious. So Trump, the last time, a lot of people like to say, for everything Trump did for us, the last term, he actually didn't do a lot. He was able to do some tax cuts. I think there's one more thing that he did, but Congress was mostly gridlocked. He tried doing things like put somebody who didn't believe in global warming in charge of the EPA, and lost Cryptoview, and he put other people in charge of agencies that made the agencies kind of suck at what they were doing. But he wasn't able to eliminate those agencies because those agencies were created by an act of Congress. Congress doesn't like it when you do that. And so Congress reserves that right for themselves. So at best, I see a lot of fighting. I do not see Trump making an agency go away. Like, say he doesn't like the EPA or like the IRS. I don't think he's going to make it go away. I think he can kneecap these agencies and make them suck for 4 years. And then the Democrats are going to come back in. They're going to hydrate it back up. They actually have more of an opportunity to redo things at that point in the way that they want to.
Amor, estoy en vivo.
Well, probably he will get more chances to do more stuff now that they had basically all the how do you call that, all the agencies, and
He got the Congress on his side. He got
yeah,
the Senate on his side. So he got a lot of powers on him. So he's going to be able to change a lot of stuff pretty quick.
And he's got
right,
judges on his side
And he
too.
got judges on his side too. So
right.
he's gonna come with an iron fist to do whatever he can to change stuff. But we have to be careful, okay? Because at the same time, that happens in my country. Like we give a lot of power to Chavez and
To one guy.
to one guy. He got all the powers, and he even changed the constitution of the country. He changed the flag of the country. He changed the shield of the country. So you got to be careful what he put out there. That these people pass for fear. And I'm not, I like Trump, and everything, but we have to check it out, like he needs to pass things that are correct, but not crazy things,
Well, what I'm worried
nonsense
about,
stuff.
is I had a friend I talked to when Trump first got president. What he said he liked, and what reason he voted for Trump is he said that back in 2016, I see Trump as a wrecking ball that's going to come in and knock things down. And he didn't do it as much last time, but I really believe that he's going to do it this time. And I get it. I get the desire to reset. Whenever your computer starts slowing down, has too much cruft going on, you want to reinstall the operating system, or at least you want to reboot the computer. What happens if we reboot the United States? Well, the only way we've known how to reboot countries in the past is through war, through a civil war. I've never actually, I think you've given the best example of a country might be maybe being rebooted by Chavez, Hugo Chavez. And did he make Venezuela better?
No.
I mean, if he had too much power, we pride ourselves in the United States of having checks and balances, no matter who you are, and nobody being above the law and stuff like that. But I'm seeing a lot of Americans open mouth, full-throatedly, going for this idea that Trump can do no wrong. I posted something on the Faz Radio Discord in the politics channel, where I don't know if you saw that, where Jordan Klepper was saying he went to a MAGA event, and he talked to this lady, and he's like, okay, so do you think he's innocent of these charges? And she's like, yeah, he's innocent of these charges. And he's like, well, do you think if he's innocent of these charges that he should stop people from testifying, at these court cases? And she says, oh no, that definitely shouldn't stop people from testifying. He goes, well, we can show that he is stopping people from testifying. And at a certain point, she took a breath, and then she said, you know what? I don't care. And that's a problem. Now he was going on to say, well, You can't change that. You can't convince somebody like, wait a minute, this is important, stuff like this. This is how she believes. Well, to me, that's a reversal of how we do things and how we think of things in the United States. To say you don't care if your person does something wrong or does something, sketchy, that's worrisome. Despite all the other things that could come of it, maybe he actually did do things. We don't know if the court cases haven't resolved. But that's what worries me, is the people that change their minds and they don't care when they previously, or they would have cared if the other side had done the very same thing.
Yeah, well, you get it see like, yes, sir.
I think it's hilarious what I'm going to say, but this is something that always has been working in the United States that it doesn't work in other countries, and probably in Venezuela. Yes, if you give to one person the whole power, a lot of bad things are gonna happen as well. And we learned that from Venezuela and Hugo Chavez. He did it. He's the proof himself that by giving him a lot of power, he basically destroyed a whole country. But there's one good thing that U.S. have is always a balance. You know, it doesn't matter uh, what Trump is going to do or not. At the end of the day, after 4 years, something have to change. The good thing is the United States have is, well, we give you 4 years, but that's it. Probably you're gonna. Depends on what you do. You're gonna win another term, but here you go, buddy. 4 years is gone. You cannot do another term. Bye bye. That's what create a balance in this country, and this
Yeah,
is
but
good. Believe me.
remember, it was like that before in Venezuela, before Chavez. He changed it. He changed the constitution. He
Uh,
changed the terms, and he
it's,
he made he made re-election infinite because he said he didn't have enough time to do what he needed to
Well,
do.
so
So he
the
changed the constitution.
process for changing the Constitution in the United States is, if I'm not mistaken, three-quarters of Congress and then three-quarters of the states. And Trump could probably get that constitutional amendment reversed uh, if he can get the states to agree. But if I'm understanding this correctly, or if I remember correctly, he doesn't have three-quarters of the states
right.
that would be fine with that amendment being reversed, which is a good thing. And I don't care if
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah.
my favorite politician in office. You don't want them to be in for 4 terms like Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
No,
There's
or
a certain amount of inertia that happens. You need your solutions to be able to survive the other side governing, in my opinion. So Trump, this is his opportunity. He can go in, he can do all the changes that he wants to do, and then we're going to find out after the next person comes in how well they're going to stick. But the only alternative, if you want to, I mean, he's doing, I think, a very risky play. The only thing more risky than that is war. And I would rather not have war personally.
no, we don't want that.
Because then you don't,
And I
then
don't
you're just
think that.
rolling the dice. You have no idea
And
what you're
no, go to war is something crazy. Every time any country have a civil war or whatever war, uh, you're just gonna push this country 20, 30 years back again in the you know,
hundreds of years
100 years.
back in the United
Well,
States
yeah,
because
it's
we're not used to Texas and California, not trading with each other. We're not used to, states, militaries, facing off against each other. That's something that we've never had here in the United States. Well, except for our own Civil War,
Yeah.
which luckily we stayed together. But there's a lot of people now even starting to trumpet that, saying, well, the Confederates had a point, or, they that this is what, they wanted states' rights and stuff like that. And I feel that they've misrepresented why we went to war during the Civil War.
I'm gonna quote something from Simon Bolivar, who's from my country. He in 1819 he says this: the continuation of authority in the same individual frequently has been the end of a democratic government. So Bolivar believed that allowing a leader to remain in power indefinitely will lead to authoritarianism, and he wanted to avoid that mistake of the colonial system, like the Spaniards. They were stay in a centralized power. So they forgot about that in our country. So I hope this country don't listen to what Bolivar says, and don't do that mistake. Like trying not to have the same person on power for too long is not good. We need to change and have fresh ideas all the time.
Well, you're going to hear a lot of Americans say that, hey, we're not Venezuela. We're a powerhouse. Was
Well,
Venezuela?
I gotta tell you something fast. In 1955, Venezuela was the money of Venezuela was the most powerful money out there. That's what they call it, the fuerte, which is the strongest. So our coin was the number one, even stronger than the libra, the sterling libra. So for you to tell me that the United States cannot be like that. The only difference between United States and Venezuela is we have weapons. And one thing is I'm for weapons because of that. One thing that happened in Venezuela was they took the weapons away from the people. So the people got no way to defend themselves. Even in this last past election, these mobs, they went to the booths where the people were voting with guns and everything, and they were not people. The people, regular people, they had no guns to defend themselves. So the only thing that the United States can keep in power is if the people keep armed and weapons. The military will think. So even though the military have a lot of armory and stuff, they know we are more than them. So
Well, I just looked this up, and you're entirely correct. In 1950, it says Venezuela was the world's fourth wealthiest nation per capita.
yes, yes, we
So
were.
there you go.
Mhm. Well, the first mega highways, like they were made in Venezuela. Like the biggest architects and everything from all over the world, they were going to Venezuela to build over there. So we were like a powerhouse, like a big powerhouse. And with the oil, we could be Dubai right now, but it didn't happen. So I'm not saying that United States is not going to happen. Of course, this country is 10 times bigger than Venezuela, but I think communism and socialism start like a cancer. They start a little bit and grow and grow and grow until it becomes like a cancer. So a lot of people, like I remember when I came to United States to leave to stay because I've been coming here since I'm a little kid because my dad is he came here in the 70s. So, but I used to come here and visit him all the time. So when I stayed here in 1999 in New York, I remember the World Trade Center. I lived the whole thing in New York, and we didn't have ice. And I remember like a lot of American people, my step grandfather and my step uncles and everybody, they would say like, we will never get like being searched in an airport or get naked in an airport or have our rights takeaway like what happened in COVID, for example. And it happens. It happens. They always make a narrative so scary that you agree to it, and say, okay, you allowed to
and
take this from me.
and COVID was during the Trump administration. What
There
what
you
I
go.
what I find interesting was people say that what how people squared that one was well, we trust Trump, but we don't trust the United States, or we don't trust the institutions that were there. And for whatever reason, if they trusted Trump and Trump was unable to control these institutions, despite being in charge of them, in charge of the country, he could have replaced the heads of these institutions or whatever. It still happened.
Well, according to what I'm reading in between the lines of what he's saying right now, that he's going to fix that. Like he had a lot of people who probably betray him. He cannot control everything. He cannot control everything right now either. But he's gonna try to have his tentacles more close to him so he can reach more and maybe not make the same mistake. And that's what I'm hoping for his.
Well, my 2 cents on what he did the first term is he complained loudly when he could not change something. He'd say, "Oh my God, the government's stopping me from doing this. It's stopping me from doing that." And to me, when you're complaining loudly about not being able to control something, that shows you have no ability to affect it. I mean, you're just going to the people and you're like, "Oh my God, you guys got to do something because I can't do anything." And that says to me, okay, how is he going to control it this time if he couldn't control it the last time? So that was the part that worried me. Now, as far as things he did and so on, I disagreed because I'm not really for Trump. But just looking at it from that point of view, I'm just like, how effective is he going to be this time? What's he going to do different?
Well, he got the powers on his side now, which is a good thing. They're gonna do what he want, at least probably, because we already saw with the bill that some of them don't like him either from his own Republican Party. But he's gonna try to change things fast and quick with the little power that he got. At least the executive orders that he can give out without passing some, the Congress. Like every little that he can change without going to Congress and too much voting. I bet you he's gonna go strike right away as soon as he comes in. And then the other stuff, he's got to start working it around by squeezing here and squeezing there and obligating them to try to make what he wants. Now, if he's it's good or bad, we don't know. But I elect him because I like his ideas. So let's hope. Because one thing that you got to remember that in Venezuela we had a dictatorship from the right back in 1950 when the dollar was strong, when the Bolivar was strong. He was a dictator from the right. He was rich, he was a military person, and he made Venezuela great, amazing. But he was a dictator, We cannot take that out. Now we have a dictator from the left, where he came from the pro-poverty, where he was having nothing to have everything.
Who's the dictator from the left?
Chavez.
Oh, okay, Chavez. Go. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
From the right, we got Pere Jimenez, the other guy from the right. I think that was his name. I wasn't born, but Venezuela was the strongest. The money was the strongest, and he even had the people from. My grandpa used to tell me this story that he had the people from prison building the highways, without anything. Like whoever escaped, he shoot them and kill them outside, like you work or I kill you, which I don't think that's the right way to do it. But what I'm saying is you have a dictator from the right and a dictator from the left. So it's two different sides of the coin. I'm not saying I support being a dictator, but what I say is if you have somebody that is already rich and doesn't need anything, but then on the other hand you have somebody who's poor and never had powers before and doesn't know how to build or cut things, you're gonna get a bad outcome.
Okay. So something I want to make clear, because you brought up communism and socialism being bad. And how it's a slippery slope from what I believe you said. The thing about communism and socialism is it's not an environment where you can make a lot of money. It's an environment where power becomes what is traded. Now, in a capitalist society, money is what you want and what you make more of. But in a communist, it's not about money; it's about power, and that's something that rich people get a taste of having power, and they really like it. So I think that's what we got to worry about is power, not the fact that Trump has a lot of money. Remember, Trump used to brag about how much in debt he was. Trump has a lot of businesses that have failed. In one sense, then he knows what not to do.
But he's successful. It's different. Like you can fail. Nobody go up in a straight line up. People have to fail. But if you don't come back from that fail, Like let's talk about the campaigns, for example. You see Kamala Harris, she got $1 billion in her campaign, and she's still in debt with $20 million. You got Trump doing his campaign with $350 million, and I think he got money left out. You know,
Well,
so
it's
if you don't
more
know
than
how to
okay.
administrate,
Wait. You're just talking about communism and socialism. Now you're talking about money in this case.
when you talk about money,
Yeah, he has apparently found a way to spend that money better. However, it's worth mentioning that Trump is famous for not paying bills. He's had many campaign stops where he won't pay the convention center that he spoke at. He takes everyone to court. He uses the court system to where he doesn't need to pay the bills. I would expect, so that's his modus operandi. That's how he works. My sense then is if the way he's going to work with the government is he's going to tie up everything in court. Well, tying up everything in court is great if you want to delay, but he's got to get stuff done in 4 years. And so I'm wondering, how can he get the ball moving fast? That's all. And if I'd like to know more about how he spent his money with his campaign. But campaigning is really just about winning over the hearts and minds of people. And both of these people were still close together in how they were elected. I mean, Biden was elected by a small majority. Trump was elected by a small majority. So it's when you talk about,
I think you didn't check the map, man. It wasn't a small majority. Like, it was a lot. And in Biden's campaign, there was like 20 million people who voted. They don't even know what these people are. They don't even vote this time, and they didn't vote before.
That's a claim I don't think we have time to really validate here. That I disagree with that. You cannot have people voting in the United States that you don't know who they are.
People were voting without IDs, man, in New York and all these states. Like they were afraid to vote this time.
Again, when you make a lot of claims like that, you have to look at how they're investigated and what the investigations have shown. And there are very, very, very few situations where people have been shown to vote incorrectly or with fake IDs or even mail fraud. It's very, very few cases have actually been shown.
But the states didn't ask for ID. I was in New York, and I'm telling you, they didn't ask for ID when you go to vote. You don't have to register to nothing. We having states right now where they're signing laws where it's mandatory to show an ID. How that's going to happen right now in 2024? And you guys are being voting in the states without being mandatory to have an ID. I just learned that this time. I didn't know that was before. Like that was a thing in my country. That is like a third world country. You have to show your ID to vote, no matter what state you are. You can be an Indian.
I think we would need to go and present this the documentation or the examples that you're talking about in our Discord, because right now that it's just hearsay. You're just saying it. I know otherwise, but I mean, I'm using the same proof as you, which is I'm just saying it. Otherwise, you're just saying it's happening. Now, that's okay.
I wasn't prepared for this conversation. If you now would have had the facts and showing it to you, but you can just do a little Google and search for it. Look at the map.
Let's do that on the Discord. Let's do that on the Discord. That's a reason to go to the Discord, right?
Look at the map. Look at the map.
No. You're not going to have me proving your points to you. You need to prove your points on the Discord. I made a channel for it actually.
Okay.
It's called this channel is called Stuff to Investigate. Put out a claim, say that people aren't being carded for voting, or they aren't being identified for voting, and then you'll see.
To tell the truth, I kind of quit Discord since the whole. I only had Discord for the company that we don't talk about. So I don't go there much. I do more Telegram now. I haven't logged in my Discord for so long.
That's what this channel is for. This channel is to get more people involved in the Faz Radio Discord so we can talk about these subjects rather than just say it. That's a big problem with politics, I feel, is that I can simply just accuse the other side of something, and the very act of me accusing makes the other side look bad. And the
Well,
very act of
as
using is
ChatGPT,
to affect people.
to tell you that states that it's not mandatory to show an ID to vote. Let's see what ChatGPT says, and let's give
There's,
it to rest. You
I
are a
get it.
big AI
But
person.
put
Go
it in
ahead.
Discord. That way it'll be there for everybody to see
But just
and
Google
everything
it
else.
real quick. Just put just ask
We don't need to.
ChatGPT.
We don't
Okay,
need
I'm
to
gonna
go
ask
there.
for you.
We're
I
here to
got
Well,
we're here to talk about politics in a way that I think is a bit more should be a bit more friendly than just being at odds with each other. Wouldn't
right.
you agree, Carl?
Yeah, totally agree. So we can go back to the what we're here for, which is president being,
President
sorry,
Musk.
Musk being president of the United
I
States. I
think he
think
will
it's,
be a
I think it,
change
huh?
from President Trump. I think President Musk will be a change from President Trump.
Right. Well,
President Musk.
we have the,
You should dye your beard purple, man.
we uh, we already have it
Okay.
clear from the President Trump today. This afternoon, he was in a
Okay.
magna, mag,
Let me
it,
make a
oh,
little parenthesis real quick, please. So I just asked ChatGPT for you, and I say, and then he said, this is what ChatGPT said. As of December 2024, the following states and districts of Colombia do not require votes to present identification at the polls: California, Hawaii, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Vermont, Washington, and Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Okay?
So yeah, I get it. So I live in Oregon. Okay. Do I need to present my ID? We don't go into the voting booth. Okay. We mail our stuff, or we mail our votes out. Okay. Now, what that means is you have to have an address, and you have to sign it, and they keep a record of your signature, and you have one vote. Now, how is that system able to be abused?
Okay, if I go to live, if I'm an illegal immigrant and I go to your state and get a house, but rent a house and get an
Mhm.
electrical bill, and get my bill and put my signature in there and just send the vote out with my name and everything, what will happen? Somebody will come and check if I'm a U.S. citizen or no. I'm asking.
So you actually have to produce an ID when you
No.
register. Let me finish. When you register to vote, not when you're voting. That's what you looked up. Now, again, so that we don't
yeah,
start talking over each other or tripping over each other, this is better presented on the Discord because you're just saying stuff. You're saying stuff that you're Googled. And any point in the conversation, one of us could forget one of the points that the other's making. This is best addressed on the Discord. And not only that, it's taking up a lot of time that I didn't want to take up here talking about President Musk. President Musk is a very influential person. So, yeah, this is great.
yeah,
Let's talk about it on the Discord. Let's push people toward the Discord to talk
all right.
about this. You may be 100% right, but I want to know the ramifications of what you're talking about on the Discord. And I want to know
Right.
if you're talking about registering versus actually voting on the
Right.
Discord. Anyway, you were saying, Mr. Zorro, I interrupted you.
Well, I think at the end of the day, we learn, and I think hopefully President Donald Trump can do something better as far that and fixing that issue or implementing new regulations as far voting in the United States, and get better stuff, because that's what we here to improve uh, whatever is a issue in the system. And going back to President Musk, as everybody have this perception today that in today's day that people think and people believe, and Democrats saying now that uh, Musk is the person who's going to lead this country. President Donald Trump, he came out this afternoon in an event and he said no, but actually he's the one he is leading. That I strong believe in what he say. He's a guy that always wanna be ahead of everything. He's a guy, and I think everybody noticed before that Trump. I'm sorry, Mr. Trump has been a person that always have to be in top of things. The same way he leads his business, he's the leader of his business, and I think he's gonna do it the same way. He's gonna lead this country. He's not gonna. He like to have, like he say, wonderful person and smart people in his cabinet. But I think it's good. I mean, I mean,
I think he's going to use some very. I think he's going to attempt to use some very different, higher risk ways of doing things. Actually, having Elon Musk be his attack dog is a good idea, in my opinion, if he wants to do things radically different. The only bad part about it that I find is that President Trump has shown that he could be manipulated by saying good things or bad things about him. And it's now starting to kind of get on his nerves that people are talking about President Musk. And I think if he can do this correctly, that I think Elon Musk can be very effective. But I don't know. I'm wondering how effective he will be able to use that. I think, and people are going to try to turn them against each other too. That's going to be an interesting one.
I think I saw a Twitter about that over the weekend. I think some lady she posted actually that what people are trying to do in the media right now, and especially on Twitter, is they're trying to put these two persons against each other as well, Elon Musk versus Trump, and it was pretty clear. And I think Elon Musk responded to that Twitter and say that's what exactly they're trying to do. They're trying to put me against Trump and Trump's against me. But you know what? I think these people have a plan. They're gonna work together, and like you say, fast. I think if Trump do a good job and he continue leading the way to 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 a better things, he can actually work. That's the perfect word. I think is work with Elon Musk, and he use his knowledge to do many stuff that is gonna be benefit for everybody here.
Well, remember when they had the only debate between Kamala and Trump? She got on his nerves. You know, Trump can get like they can get on his nerves pretty quick. So he better be careful with this media trying to get him go crazy about the old Musk president situation thing. And but this time he can think about it and not overreact, and he have people around him to calm him down. I hope so. So I think it's gonna all this stuff is gonna go good. I don't think he's gonna get.
I think he is set up for success. From his point of view, from the Democrats' point of view, I think he's setting up to completely blow things up and upend the apple cart. But from his point of view, I think he's set up for success. He's got to be careful if he doesn't want to waste it. Let's hope his personality doesn't get in the way like it did last time.
Well, that's why he's choosing. That's why he's choosing all these people. And one other thing, even though this is not crypto talking, and one of the things that I like him, and he's getting a lot of crypto appointees with his personal, and so that's a good thing too.
I'm into crypto myself. I think the only issue that I don't have a problem with him about but I do have a problem with the way he might do it. I like that he likes crypto. What I worry about is he just going to put people in? Is he going to put the quarterback of a football team in charge of the SEC? Is he going to? He wants to put a Fox News host in charge of as the Secretary of Defense. That to me says, is anything this person going to do actually stick? So, yeah, I think he's going to talk up crypto. I think crypto is going to go up in price while he's president. What I wonder is the staying power. Is all the stuff going to happen, and then the next president who's going to come in might be a Democrat, and then they just reverse everything he does because he just talked it up. And I'm wondering. I think about halfway through his term is if you have crypto, you might want to sell a lot of it. Because I think that's when crypto is going to mega crash. Now if he, not him, but if another Republican or Vance gets elected the next time, I think crypto's doing even better. But they've got to strengthen this system, the crypto system, for it to really stick. So that's what I want to see. That he actually will make crypto stay around, not just say nice things about it.
Right. Well, What else we have? I think President Trump mentioned a couple of things today in his presentation, and one of the things he says that he's gonna be actually doing this as well. Hold on. Um, yeah, Trump rails against transgender people and makes threats about the Denali and Panama Canal. I think on the topic of Panama Canal, he
Real
went a
against.
little bit crazy
Oh, he
about
wants to buy
that.
Panama Canal.
Yeah, he said that he wants to go back and get the Panama Canal, but I don't think 'cause that's gonna.
He talked
I said this
about the
earlier. He
transgender.
didn't get Greenland for us, and he hasn't gotten Canada yet. So I don't think the Panama Canal is going to happen.
No, he can work a deal though. He can work a deal, but
Uh,
I don't think he's gonna take over. That deal was signed already in 1999. It's not. They're not. These Panama people, they won't allow. And talking about the transgender, I think that's a good thing in part, especially with the kids. And I think everybody has to be at least older in order, have their organs fully developed and everything, and
So,
be
so
sure to
I have
change
some
their.
questions about that. I have some
Mhm.
questions about that because it's been a common platform of conservative people to say you need to stay out of my business. You don't. I don't want you to tell me what to drink, what to smoke, whether I can carry guns, what I can do. You don't tell me how to live. You don't tell me how to whatever. And I see any issues with transgender should be left up to people and doctors. The United States, as a government, needs to stay out of the social sphere. I don't want a Twitter president. Okay, well, we had one before, but I don't want a president telling me what I can and cannot socially do. And if you have a bunch of people that feel that they need to represent themselves in a certain way, that's okay. Now I get it. I get it. You have a problem with how kids should be handled in this situation, and I'm going to say you can leave that up to the doctors. That what I'm really hearing is I'm hearing a social issue with a medical situation. It's like you saying, well, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but I'm not sure that it's good for young kids to be transgender. That's not up to you to answer. That's up to their families, to them, for their doctors, their therapists, their mental health people, and it's up to the parents and the doctors. The government should stay out of it. Government. I understand abortion's a big issue because one side feels like you're killing somebody. Okay, I get it, but just bringing in transgender to me sounds like they're finding a new set of people to demonize. It's like, oh, okay, well, we're not going to demonize black people as much now because we have trans people to point at. And it's not just that we care about the kids. It's if you're trans at all, we don't want to support you. We don't want to make it easier for you to do anything in life. We think that you need mental help or whatever. That's not the government's place. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Well,
Is
not, like I say, I
I
don't
like
I
the
don't care if
idea of
you're a grown
freedom
up man and do it.
conservatives. I like the idea of freedoms that the freedom that conservatives like to put across, but it turns out that you're not free if you follow the conservative way of doing things. From my point of view.
But what
right.
I'm saying is, I don't care if you are grown or like 18, your organs are already developed and you already passed enough of your life to make that decision.
This is
My,
another really deep issue that we'd have to get into if we're going to start talking about when you say organs develop. We're not doctors. How can we debate this issue other than socially if we're not doctors? How
well,
can we debate?
I know we're not doctors, but according to medicine, like a woman will be fully developed at the age of 16 in her organs, and a man I think is 18 or something like that. I think we develop older. So what I'm saying is, in the state you are 18 to be like kind of independent, and I
Would
think.
you say that would be okay to circumcise a baby then? Because shouldn't you wait for the baby to be 18 and develop before they're
Well, the
circumcised?
thing, the thing is about the circumcision. Like like we don't practice that in South America before.
Well,
Like
they do in the United
something.
States
Yeah,
quite a bit.
I understand, but it's not mandatory. So that's up to the father if you want to circumcise the baby. And it's not like they castrating the baby or nothing. And it's been proven that
Well,
it's
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
but it's been proven.
You're,
Wait, it's
you're,
been proven
you're,
that it's more.
you are
It's been proven that
you
it's
are
more
you
clean.
are cutting a baby's organ. There's actually glands down there. You're cutting up babies' penises. Why is that okay in the United States? Now I understand it's not okay in Venezuela, or people don't do it in Venezuela. But why in the United States it's okay to do that to a baby? But then when you talk about other things, it's like, okay, well, these things are okay to modify children, but these other things are not.
Okay,
And like I said,
now there is
this is going to be a
animals.
hard discussion
Wait,
if
there
we
is
do not
animals
have
out there.
doctors
There is
and
animals out
oncologists
there who
in this
say to
discussion.
the. There is animals
This is
out
going to be
there
a
who
hard
have the
discussion to
umbilical
have.
cord. There is animals out
Okay.
there who have the umbilical cord living with their mother for a few days,
Mhm.
and you think it's okay to cut the umbilical cord if if it's something that is being proved that is for
It is very
sanitation and is
easy.
better for the development of the man, and
This
the
is the kind
parents
of
need to do
conversation
it.
I was hoping that we don't have. I'm hoping that we don't start getting so much that we start talking over each other, because what people are hearing is they're hearing the argument. They're hearing that we disagree. And what I want to show with this show is where we agree,
Okay.
and I want to see where we can work together. And so I'm not trying to be divisive and say, well, conservatives, they'd rather do this than that. What I want to say is I'm not a conservative, but what I like about conservatives is the freedoms that they push, that they feel that we're guaranteed. And I feel that there is a way to solve this problem. And I think that we have to get, people in that understand the domain. Yeah, we're going to have opinions. We're going to have things that horrify us. I'm not gay. I'm not trans. I'm not going to really understand, what it's like, from their point of view. But I also don't understand what it's like to be black, and I don't understand what it's like to be even, Mexican, Venezuelan, or anything like that. So I can't really talk for you. I can't really say I understand about Latin America. I understand about being uh, Latino, but I feel the same way about trans and gays and stuff like that. I think that there's more to it. We can't just stop here and just stop at a I just disagree with you. You're wrong. How dare you, or whatever. We've got to find a better way to talk about it.
Right.
Well, I
I think the transgender is a hot topic, and I think actual parents and peoples and professional people have to be involved in these topics, in transgender kids and all this. I have to be more researching this, and get the proper solution for everybody, because at the end of the day, everybody is a human being. A transgender at the end of the day is a human being as well.
They have
No,
families. A
it has,
transgender person has
yeah,
a mother, has
like
a
I say,
father.
and
I'm not
and
against them.
and
Not that.
and
It's just a
no,
kid.
we're just speaking in
I
general,
think they should be old
and at the
enough.
end, and at the end of the day, they are people with feelings,
I
and
know, yeah.
feelings is one of the main things that make everybody a human being. That's it, pretty much.
I know.
Hopefully, whoever is gonna be the professional who's gonna be taking care of the transgender people, is smart enough to take a good decision with their parents of these kids as well.
Yeah, it's a complicated subject, and I think this country, the United States, has a hard time understanding complicated subjects right now. It's like all one or all something else. It's like, I like COVID vaccinations, or I don't like COVID vaccinations. I like this new thing in the news, or I don't like this thing in the news. And I think this is a lot because we have this bipolar society. You can't go halfway, and you can't say, you know what, this guy has a point, but he's being a real jerk about it. Um,
Yeah.
that's what I really want to get across and I think we're losing a lot of our humanity, when we start excluding groups of people, whether they're, undocumented immigrants, whether they're black, or whether they're transgender. the more we can dehumanize another person, the easier it is for us to, I think, to feel like we're together. But I feel like we've forgotten something. I grew up very conservative. I grew up very religious, and I don't think that I've lost the humanity part that I was raised to have. I think about how these people feel. There's got to be a way. I mean, we're a very smart country. There's got to be a way that we can have people get what they want in the way that they want. But I think the way we start is people have to actually want to solve the problem.
Yes.
I think there is a way to solve the problem, like you say, and we will find a way to solve the problem.
Give
But
people a way out.
at the same time, you gotta understand that these kids probably they've been influential by a lot of stuff. They probably don't know. Like if it's like owning. I don't know. Like I think they should go through something first before they make that final decision, because that decision is irreversible.
What if not only the transgender people go through something first, but what if the rest of Americans go through some education as well? What if we truly started understanding what transgender people go through? That would change, I think, a lot of opinions. I find it interesting that there's, I've seen it in the past. There's like senators and congressmen that say, I have a problem with gay people. And then invariably one of their kids comes out as gay. And then all of a sudden they shut up and they're just like, oh, that's because it hit too close to home. That's because they actually love their son or daughter. And they're like, okay, well, this is something that's obviously something that you want to do. I mean, I would never want that, but it's something that obviously is going on in something, and they change their opinions and then they say little to nothing. Either that, or they're like Elon Musk, where they just cut them off because Elon Musk has a transgender child, and he wants to do nothing has nothing to do with this child anymore. But he used to. He used to be all for transgender, and then has stopped recently, ever since he's kind of cozied up to Trump. So this is trying to wrap this one up because we've gone over a bit.
Right. Yeah.
But it's the humanity part, I think, that needs to be paid attention to, including when Elon Musk makes huge cuts in the government. You got to push those jobs somewhere. Let's not get rid of the jobs. Let's do them more efficiently. I get it. Government is very, very inefficient, but you can't if you just chop it off, you're going to cause a lot of problems, I think. And if you don't have something to replace it with, anyway, I'm babbling. So right. I very much appreciate you coming on board Cryptoview, and thank you, Zorro, for, I'd say, standing in the middle, but you're on the side here. Here you go.
There you go.
Very much appreciate you, Zorro, as well. I admit that I'm not trying to demonize or try to explain away why certain things are happening. And I don't want this to be a right versus wrong show. I want this to be where people just understand the dilemmas, understand what's the problems that we have, so that we could think in different ways to solve them, instead of I'm right, you're wrong. That doesn't work anymore. That's all we got. All right. Thank you again.
So you think, one quick question at the end. So you think we should put like an AI to decide for the people, so it can find our problems and try to suggest what we need to do? Do you believe in an AI society?
ChatGPT cannot solve social issues. ChatGPT can do a job faster and better. If you need some mental processing power, ChatGPT is the one to do it. It's like, hey, I need you to take this amount of work, do all this research for me, categorize this, write some code for me, get this job done. But for social issues, humans actually got to sit down and pull up their big boy pants and actually do some emotional work. We actually need to work with how humans think and feel, and that's how you motivate them. You want a bunch of people to be a lot more efficient. the most efficient people are the most motivated. That's unfortunately the sad thing that the Nazis have shown us.
I gotta suggest you something fast. Go. There was an experiment made on the 70s called the Universe 25. Check out that, and then we talk about transgender and all the stuff. Okay.
I think that you got Universe 25 was a behavioral experiment conducted by John Calhoun in the 70s to study the effects of overcrowding and population crashes on mind.
I think fast that topic will be feed up very well in the Discord.
I think that would be awesome to talk about in the Discord. And this is I want to push people to the Discord so we can talk about this. It's one thing to say these things, but it's another thing to actually dig into it and find links and say, look, oh, there's like 3 things going on here. But yeah.
You're gonna make me reopen the Discord. Come out from retirement. You're making me come out of retirement.
I will let you can I will support you 100% on everything you say, but I will also challenge you. Here. I will also challenge you.